Hey there, TJ Denzer here, Senior News Editor for Shacknews.com, coming at you with another preview. This time around, I got to play FBC Firebreak. This is Remedy Entertainment's upcoming co-op multiplayer shooter set in the Control universe. You take on the role of basically some cleaners that are sent into anomalous zones to take care of that anomaly and get out before things get too haywire. For this preview, we got to play a few different missions. We got to try out a few different kits, which are kind of make up the classes that you play. We got to try out the gunplay and fight some monsters, and also see a little bit of the progression. This game plays out kind of like, I would say, maybe like a Payday situation or a sort of extraction shooter type setups. You are sent in to do a job as a squad of 3, and you take care of business, try to get everything done as cleanly and as fast as possible, and then try to get out of there. Along the way, you have these different kits. There is a jump kit, which is like a giant taser that you can use to shock enemies, or you can use to like repair certain electrical equipment. There's a fix kit that gives you like a giant wrench that you can use to bash enemies and stagger them, or you can use it to fix certain things like ammo benches or radiation showers to get anomalous goop off of you. And then there's a splash kit, because sometimes things catch on fire in the levels and you're going to need to be able to put those out with your big water gun. You eventually get an ability to like deploy a turret that can splash your team and give them health back. So there are different like roles that you play in that each of you play, and they all have kind of their own trees of advancement where they get more and cooler stuff as you take on more missions with those kits. The missions themselves were like a number of different collection, elimination, and sort of objective. Get to the thing, fix the thing, move on to the next thing and fix that thing, and then get out. There was also just like a straight up elimination mission where they had these sticky notes, which were living anomalies that would stick to things and like basically suck their life out. So we had to eliminate like a certain amount of those sticky notes, all while being attacked by these zombie-esque creatures that are kind of forming in the zone at an increased pace as the time goes on. And then the third one was like, we had to go into this like hive area and bust out and shoot at these eggs and get a certain energy resource from them and collect it into this mining cart that we could push along some tracks. And in each instance, once we were done with the mission, we all had to sprint back to like an elevator that had a cooldown timer on it that you had to hit and like basically outlive the enemies before you could get on and get out. Once everybody that can be on the elevator hits the elevator and gets out, that's the end of the mission, and you get your reward from there based on how you did. I keep talking about these enemies. Basically, there's like these zombies that sort of form as you're continuing to work on this mission, and they form they spawn in increased waves and more dangerous variants as time goes on. So like you'll start with some regular zombies that just kind of swarm at you and you can shoot them off and bash them out. Sometimes they'll be on fire, so if you don't put them out as the water guy, you can end up catching on fire and end up with a mess. Then they start sending in like these guys floating on chairs that shoot energy balls at you. And finally it comes down to like these riot suit monsters that have like grenade launchers. The situation escalates quickly, so you need to get your job done and get out as fast as possible, and that requires working efficiently as a team. We were able to play a few different difficulties. Easy is cake. Normal is a bit harder depending on the job. The sticky note job was actually pretty hard for us to do because that one escalated very quickly, and you're having to deal with the threat of the sticky notes in addition to the threat of spawning monsters. But you can also kick it up to like 2 higher difficulties that we saw, and we just got outright mogged in the highest difficulty, like didn't even have a chance. We were able to do the third higher difficulty on one of the missions, and we felt pretty proud of that. But it's also just cool to see like the weapon play alongside the utility gear in this game. Depending on which kit you play, it like gives you weapons, and you'll get like a submachine gun on the splash kit, a shotgun on the electricity kit, revolver on the fix kit. Although I might have those around. But it doesn't matter, because you can literally equip any weapon from any kit that you've unlocked. So you're not tied down to using a shotgun on one kit or the revolver on another kit. You can just mix and match them as you want, and that's kind of nice. So you can kind of build your own class or build your own playstyle depending on how you want to fit your team. And it's also just cool to see like how the utility gear works, because it's almost as important as the bullets. The gunplay feels good so far, but like the utility gear, like giving you the means to traverse levels easier and fix things that benefit your team, is a neat touch, and I'm really interested to see how players take to it. We only got to see 3 missions so far, and we only got to see like the early parts of the kits and the gunplay and whatnot. So there's still a lot that we need to see. They are running technical tests, so more players will get in on that, share feedback, and help this game grow. It's really interesting to see, just because like we've known Remedy is like a mostly single player focused game company for years. So to see them like stretching their legs and trying something like this is kind of cool, and to see it kind of tied back all into that Control universe is also interesting. Plenty more to see along the way until we get there. Stay tuned to Shacknews for news and updates and coverage. You can find us on Shacknews.com, or you can head over to our YouTube channels, Shacknews, Shacknews Interviews, and Shacknews VODs. You can also find us on the socials at Shacknews on Twitter, Shacknews on Facebook, Shacknews Media on Instagram, Shacknews on TikTok, Shacknews on Blue Sky as well. Wherever you want to find us, we're there. And we will see you next time. Take care, y'all.